All right, boys, we got Abram versus John Beast. This is MCS Playoffs semifinal matchup. And we have, in a lot of ways, kind of a mirror match, similar players. Wanted to break this down for you here. So, so what's interesting is that John actually, to get to the semifinal, he actually beat David T, who I picked to win. I picked David in that game. John ended up kind of flooding him to a degree, like beat him pretty handedly. And David T was also running the Saints playbook. Now, what made John really, what won John that game was the defense. Now, I know that it says Texans and Jets defensive playbooks. I'm pretty sure those are exactly the same. They're both going to be in dollar defensively primarily, probably 6-1 in red zone situations. As far as, very similar matchups in general. Abram, kind of a balanced player, a little bit of a unique type of player. John B's going to be really good on offense, going to be very creative on offense. Niners and Saints playbook is very, very similar. Going to probably both base out of the doubles flex Y off close formation. So there's a lot of kind of similarities coming in this game. MCS semifinal matchup, super fired up for it. And let's get into it. All right, boys, here we go. We got Abram and John in-game action here. And it does look like Abram's going to be in the Seattle uniforms. John going to be in Patriots. Abram is going to be getting ball at halftime. Again, John Beast is going to be in that Niners offense playbook. It's very similar to Saints, a couple slight variations. But John coming in this matchup is the number 2 seed. They're going to be rocking, I believe John, I know, is going to be an Eagles team. Pretty sure Abram's Eagles team 2. Eagles Lions, kind of the standard team with maybe 20 Chiefs is kind of what we're seeing in this tournament. Michael Vick with that Master Attack Gunslinger. There you see the Eagles, Lions, Chiefs. That is probably what we're going to see on both sides of the ball. Gets that Pat Tillman card up to 98 speed. And early, here we go. We're going to have Abram. And notice that Abram did switch defenses, and he went to this dime 3-2 on the day 3 of the MCS playoffs. A lot to learn here in this one. Abram going to be in that show blitz alignment, sending that 4-man disengage type of blitz there, and John going to hit a nice short post. Good timing from John. I'll tell you, John's one of the best offensive players in the world. If you want to learn offense, you watch John Beast. He never gets off the game. He knows everything in and out, and he's really, really good. Honestly, John is really good pre-snap of kind of like dialing up something, and we'll see kind of what he's looking at here. Looks like an ID. Blocking this blitz really, really pretty good. That's an easy read. Nice deep in route. I've been talking about those for a while. If you don't have the ability to have a short post on your field, utilize a 15-yard in route. It's basically the same in terms of like where it's going to get to on the field. This is Astros play. Kind of standard smash return setup in general, but Astro was in this a lot against Wesley. This was kind of the play that he ran. John going to do a little variation and go street corner version with a nice playmaker, nice high ball, and that's that master tactician ability. Master tactician, probably the best ability in this year's game is Gunslinger, and the second best is Master Tactician. If you don't have Master Tactician, is basically like 4 to 5 abilities in one. Little red zone combo from John, double slants with a tight end wheel. And going to scramble out of there with Vic. Take a hit with, I'll tell you, you saw John's facial expressions. John understands, one of the things that's really fun about watching him play, he understands situations really, really well. He understands, like, because he plays so much, he understands some of the little things. Like, John, to me, I don't know if it's a fair comparison, but I like to think, like, kind of the Andy Reid of Madden, honestly. And just the way he plays. Very, very good situationally. Able to get John makes the game easy on himself too a lot. He's going to make a simple run play there in the red zone. So anyway, and John's big theme in coming in this tournament is discipline. That's like his thing. He's all on this discipline kick. He said it to David T a bajillion times in the game. And we're going to see what Abram can do. Abram coming off a win against Kiv that honestly he didn't really deserve. Honestly, got an onside kick, really was what changed the whole dynamic of the game. I feel like Kiv played a better game, managed the game better for sure. And this is a rematch of the MCS kickoff event, I want to say. Or kickoff, it was a classic. Now, I will say for Abram, this has been a really good year for him. This is a semifinal in Madden in the playoffs. So he's made a semifinal in the playoffs. He also, you see the 20 Chiefs, 40 Eagles. He's made a semifinal in MCS playoffs this year. If he gets past this one, he'd make a final. He made finals in, I think, 2 events, I want to say. So, anywho. And then a semi. So he's had a really, really good year. I don't know if he made I'm trying to remember how many finals. I know he played Fancy in a finals. I want to say he played Abram in a semifinal. But he's basically been like super consistent in that semifinal, final all year. Been right there. Got a belt last year, I'm pretty sure. And so I think he won the playoffs event, I want to say. I'm pretty sure he won an event last year. But I don't think he's won one this year. So anywho. All right, so going to that tight Y off. Going to go to that smash return type combo. John looked really good defensively against David T. Against this same playbook. So I'm going to be seeing, kind of looking what he's doing defensively. And really what John's going to do a lot of is there's a lot of switch stick, right? He's going to be in that dollar switch sticking. He's going to be sending either that crossfire loop out of this. So he's either going to be sending crossfire or he's going to be sending the B gap variation of those blitzes. Here he's going to go with the pinch D line look. I think that was a mistake because he does respread them here. Going to be that disengage. There's a B gap. There's a switch stick. Good defense. Nice scramble from Abram. Able to get 3 or able to get 7 yards. And I think, if you're John, if you're giving up a quarterback scramble in this year's game, that's not the end of the world because you could force fumbles on that. It's QB scramble's not really the end of the world like it used to be. All right. 2nd and 3 situation. Going to go street corner flat on this right side. Look at that tight end seam straight. Nice read. And Abram looking a lot better offensively against John's defense and David T. And they basically were running very similar plays, very similar setups. Anywho, going to go back to tight Y off. This little cover 2 beater on the left side, trying to catch John in a cover 2 coverage. And he is not going to catch him there, but he is going to catch him right there. Nice read by Abram. And I'll tell you one of the things about John. This is what I like about John. I love the way John manages the game. It looks like Abram's dotting him. It looks like Abram can't be stopped. But look at the big picture of what's just happened. He now has Abram in a red zone situation where Abram's going to have to work to score. There he gets a throwaway. Now we're 2nd and 10. This is what I've been talking about all year long about the way to play defense in Madden 25. Bend but don't break. Have a little bit of pressure, typically on a send 4. Have a good switch stick. Make sure you limit the big plays. John's been in cover 4 pretty much every play. There's a KO. Now we get a 3rd and 10. And you see John, he's like, situations matter. That's why I call him kind of the Andy Reid. I feel like his situational awareness is really something that I think is taking a huge step up for him this year. Anyway, here we go. Good seam streak, good catch, good possession. And John's on him. Wasn't able to use her that well. But here we go. 1st and goal. And it looks like we're going to get the wild trips either through RPO or the inside zone combination, 1 of 2. Going to start out with the inside zone. Good run defense from John. And again, this isn't an easy red zone trip. He's had to work his way up the field. He's going into the red zone situation. John's going to, kind of Abram did to a degree the same stuff to John. And this is like good on both. This is good on good. This is best on best. This is semifinal. This is, AFC, NFC championship type of football that we're seeing from these two guys. These are going to be largely won on situational awareness, limiting mistakes, red zone. Like, that's what we're going to see here. So this Saints has a really good red zone. You're going to see there's that whip route. Good switch by John. Almost caught him on a pick. Got a throw or got an incompletion. And now we get a 3rd and goal. One of the best ways to get stops in Madden 25, red zone stops. Red zone stops are so good because you force him to 3. You hold him to 3 here. John gets ball. That's 14-3 potentially. John is now in control of the game, not just in the lead of the game. If he gets a stop here, he's in control of the game, not just in the lead of a game. All right, here we go. Kind of changing up his user a little bit so he can handle that streak a little bit more. Oh, nice. Okay, I don't know what just happened on that. I have no idea what Jenkins is on. Let's take a look. Does he accidentally run commit? I have no idea. I don't know. Is this a cloud flat and it just doesn't play a wheel? It's what it seems like. John tries to switch it onto it, but I mean, that is not a very good defensive play there. I don't know what happened there. Not at all. No idea, but Abram gets 7. So big down. Big third down and goal. Good on good. 7-7. John Beast ball. Here we go. When you get in these big games, these semifinal matchups, these final matchups, these games truly, you're going to see pretty much generally first drive score, right? We get a little tendency back to you. You've got to keep pace with one another. That's a lot of what these games are made of. So, again, John starting out inside zone, trying to get on the hash. Wasn't able to get on the hash, but got 4 yards out of it. And here we go. So, see what Abram can do defensively if he can adjust to kind of some of the things that John's doing. John's a little bit more of a freestyler, I think, at heart offensively as well. I think he's going to draw some things up, but this is big moment. He's going to go with those setups. Good pressure from Abram, able to kind of catch him. There's Joke asking questions. Why is Michael Vick right-handed? That is the story of Madden 25. And the story of EA Sports, honestly, is the fact that instead of fixing left-handed quarterbacks, they'd rather just make Michael Vick right-handed. So there you go. More power to EA. It's in the game. Here we go. Back to the game. All right. This is a big third down for John. And we're going to roll out, playmaker. I love the playmaker. This is so subtle. But take a look at what John does here. So it's a rollout. So you see, he sees Abram has switch sticked onto Douglas. This throw is pretty hard to make. Like, you could make it, but it's pretty hard to make. So what he's going to do is he's going to playmaker this up. Now, why playmaker it up? Because the user's either going to run down at him or he's going to run over here. If he playmakers it up, he basically just takes the user out of the play. This is what I'm talking about with John. I think John, especially in these bigger games, a lot of high percentage throws that I feel like he, for the most part, has. I will say that might be the difference this year in John than what we've seen before, though. I will say that. I have seen John make some questionable throws, but in this tournament, and it seems like, again, that key word that he keeps saying, discipline, seems to me like locked in John, high percentage throws, audible and around, right? Put defenders in conflict type of deal. Nice drag route. Underrated drag route right there. I don't even know if he got any yards out of that. Kind of an underrated drag route, though. Just in terms of how low it got. Abram didn't really use her well. Here we go. We got drag and a corner route combo. Good switch stick. Good playmaker by John. And now we got a big down. This is 4th and 4. This is a huge down in this game. John has to go for this probably because he has to keep pace because he got ball first. So here we go. 4th and 4 combo. We got a zig route, a flat. And oh my gosh, what a throw. Wow. Okay, so Abram sends like his whole team. He runs the disengage. He drops hook curl, blitz. So he sends like 5, 4. He sends 4, but it's all off the side here. Really cover 4, not bad. Good switch stick on the wheel route by Abram, taking away that quick throw. And then he's going to get back on a Bayard, gets on a Gronk. Great playmaker by John. And look at this throw. Perfect accuracy to a post route or an in route. That's an insane throw. Like literally an insane throw. And Abram's going to miss a tackle, and John's going to get so many more yards than he should have. One of my biggest things that I'm starting to really believe in is if you want to play good defense in Madden, one of the most underrated things is your ability to tackle in space. It's something that one of my big takeaways from the tournament is defensively, I got to get better at that. I got to get better at tackling in space. Like, look, that should have been a tackle right there. Now, instead, you 15, 20 yards. Now he's inside the 5. Trying to score inside the 5 versus trying to score from the 10 is completely different. And it's a lot easier, in my opinion, to score inside the 5. So I don't love John passing here on 2nd and goal. I didn't love that play. I feel like, I don't know. I just didn't love that play. I'd like to see him run. But I get why you pass there. But problem is now you kind of have to pass here. He's going to go down. See, I would have liked this audible down last play. I mean, Abrams and Dollar for crying out loud. Like, let's run stretch. Big boys. There we go. And again, there's John making the game easy on himself. He comes out in Dollar. I hit him with the stretch. right? High percentage play. So that 7 really truly was a 4th down conversion. That was a crazy throw by John. It was more crazy just because he was rolling right. You can make those throws in Madden, but it was just a crazy throw by John. It was a good throw. But really what it comes down to, the missed tackle in the open field got him inside the 3-yard line instead of having, first and goal from the 10 or first and 10 from the 15, right? Instead, we got first and goal from the 3. It's a significant difference in terms of what John's able to do. He's able to just check into a run, get the ball to CJ, and it was, I call that like a free touchdown because you didn't really have to work too hard to get it on it ultimately. Obviously, you had to work on the 4th down play call, but I'm talking about once he converted that 4th down and missed tackle led to a 1st and 3. So it's just it's a big deal. And you're going to watch here with John. Watch how John is going to differ a little bit. He's not going to normally, if he plays like he played against David T, he's not going to miss tackles. He's not going to, it's going to be catch. So catch, tackle. Of course, as I say that, he misses the tackle, but it's catch, tackle, rally to the ball. That type of approach in this year's game, it sounds really minute. It sounds really little. It really is a big deal because you force them to have to drive up and down the field. That was a hard throw, right? Abram made a really difficult throw. It was a big-time comeback on the right side. You were right there, right? That's what you want to see defensively in this game. It's catch, tackle, and really it's that forcing them to work, limiting the big plays, right? So John kind of in a little bit of a clock management situation here. Abram going to audible to the run. Why is Abram audibling to the run here? Abram is trying to make sure that John doesn't get ball before halftime because Abram gets ball at halftime. So even if Abram gets 3 here, he would regain kind of control of the game if he's able to make sure that John doesn't get ball at half. All right, YSAO double streak set up. Great switch stick onto that flat zone by John. Almost lurked him. It kind of got off of it a little early. But again, it's catch tackle, right? It's catch tackle. It's the flat route doesn't go for 10, it goes for 2. That's a big difference. This was the play that Abram ran to seal the game against Kiv. Good switch. Great read from Abram. And that's a high-level throw. It really is a very good throw by Abram. So John, he's going to go with, I would assume this is a hook curl. Honestly, yeah, I think John meant to switch here, but not able to do it, not able to execute it. Maybe he's switching here to go dive on this drag. But I think really the right play would have been here and dive there. But honestly, Abram just had a lot of options, called a really good play. And that was the game winner against Kiv. Against Kiv, he hit the fade. There he hit the post. Abram goes to that play pretty much every big down, by the way. From what I've seen in a short, very small sample size in the MCS playoffs, Abram has probably called that play if we were looking at every big down he had, he probably called that play 75% of the time. He loves that route combo on big downs. Obviously, John noted that, but it was kind of a big touchdown. Kind of a big touchdown for Abram to be able to get that. Now we're in a situation where John has enough time to go down and get 3. Has enough time to go down and get 3 here. Probably going to be hard to get 7 unless Abram just busts a coverage. And notice, Abram has truly gotten a lot more disciplined defensively than he did look in the first round of this tournament. There's that deep post, nice playmaker on that swirl route, and then there's that big play. And there we go. Right? John did exactly what John needed to do. He had that swirl route, late playmaker. And now we're going to get a first and 10 from about the 40. John could probably kick a field goal from here. I don't know exactly what Tucker's range is off the top of my head. Nice play. Dude, John's just playmakering his life away. Yeah, that's really smart by John. Okay, super underrated. Super underrated here. Okay, so he catches. This is really, really good by John Beast. So he playmakers, which is cool. He catches here. What do most people do? What do you probably do? What do I probably do? We go north-south, and we try to get 7. Right? We try. I don't know why we think north-south get 7, right? Or try to juke. Okay, look what John does. 12 seconds. He only has 1 timeout. So instead of getting north-south, what John does is he goes directly horizontal here, and he's just going to get out of bounds, stop the clock. That lets John, this is why it's so key, that allows John to, on this play, use the entire field. He can use the entire field because he has a timeout in his back pocket. Super high level play by John, very underrated, winning situationally, winning in the clock battle. Should see a wheel route from the tight end here. On the right, streak from the tight end probably. I don't know. Yeah, there's the wheel. And playmaker up. Touchdown. That's perfect. That is so big. Like, that is so big for the flow of this game, and that's why he stands up and talks to him. Look at what John Beast is able to do. And it's honestly, this has been the majority of the offense. Look at Abram. It's basically cover 4, maybe cover 2, maybe clouds on the outside here. Cool, no problem. Look what John does. And look at how bad, like, I just don't know what, I mean, when you slow it down, it looks worse. But, I mean, obviously this is all happening quick. What it really looks like is Abram doesn't know what John's doing. And that's where John's, mixing up his play calls. I don't know, mixing up his formations. Could be that. But it's really the playmaker, and it's been the playmaker pretty much all game. Here he playmakers him up into this little crease, and this is just excellent football. Again, what I say, he could use the whole field. Abram played pretty much basic cover 4 cloud flat defense, actually. And that's just a touchdown. That's a huge touchdown. Why is that a huge touchdown? Because now John kind of keeps control of the game. Even though Abram's going to get ball at half, John keeps himself in a good position in the game, and he keeps pace because now John is in the lead as opposed to being tied. So now Abram gets ball at half, but he's losing 7. He's still kind of playing from behind, if you will. So it's a huge touchdown from John. It is a huge touchdown from John in a big moment, big situation. 4 seconds left, kicks it deep, kicks it out of bounds, no kick return possible. These are little things that play out in these big games, because in these big games, it really does come down to 1 or 2 plays here or there, a clock management deal, a red zone deal. Abram going to kneel it out and take it into halftime. Wild first half, a lot of really good Madden played in the first half, and a lot we can take away from it. All right, boys, here we go. Second half of action. Abram going to start out with a run, get to a hash. This is shaping up to be a really good second half here between 2 really good Madden players. And honestly, first half kind of went to John, really by way of that last drive before half was a critical 7 that he was able to get. Really, John won in situations in the first half. Kind of similar to Andy Reid and the Chiefs, right? So anyway, we'll see what Abram's able to do here. PA snag and come out, flip on him. Again, look what John's doing defensively. What I don't love, oh my gosh, look at this post route. They're going to use that as a post? Those street corner flat, backside drag, block the tight end, trying to hit that short corner. Abram able to hit it in a little pocket. Honestly, if I'm John, like, I'm cool with that. Like, you're going to throw that every single time. We saw that in the first round matchup that Abram had. He threw a lot of those throws, and they didn't really work that well for him. Working a lot better in this game, but in general, you got to give something up. Like, let's give that up. That's cool with me. Crossfire throws it again. That time, John lurked him. He tried to pick it. He actually, John got off the switch, but moves him into the position. Really, what's really interesting about the way John's playing defensively is a lot of like switch on the player, move him into the position, switch off of him. A lot of that from John defensively here. Here's that tight end straight. See, did it again, switched on to the zig. Pretty good defense from John, and now we got him on a 3rd and 10. This is what I'm talking about with the way John plays defense. He is going to make you work. I feel like John's defense really has been the story of his run, was the story of his game against David T. It's been to a degree, like his offense been a little better this game, but hasn't gotten stopped yet. But I think his defense is just playing really good ball. All right, let's see what Abram's got for me here. Post route, good user from John. There's the sack, and here's the 4th down and 12. John is great situationally. Can he get a stop on this 4th and 12 situation? Abram is going to see, this is indecision from Abram. He's going to go back to that verticals play that he called. It's just kind of, I don't know exactly. Yeah, this little slant in right over the middle. There should be a cage from John, and there's the KO, and there's the stop, and there's 21-14 with ball able to go down and get score. This is a gotta have it down. This is a big down. Again, what I was trying to say about Abram is I just felt like you can kind of tell when they're picking their play a little slower. They don't know what they want to go to. They're kind of thinking. When you start thinking, I think that's to a degree not super great in an MCS environment where you need to be executing you need to be out executing. So here he goes to this combo. Let's take a look at what he gives himself. John's pretty much been, for the most part, in a cover 4 shell all game. Pretty much been. So this corner route is irrelevant to John. I don't know if you might be able to catch that on the sideline, but the cover 4 should guard it. Seam streak. We know John's not giving up a seam streak on 4th and 12. Like it'd be crazy of him to do so. However, where this is actually a really good combo is you have this slant and you have this in. So what Abram is wanting to do is this quarter is going to get pulled by this streak. John's user is going to have to go to the slant, and John's going to have to click on and really have a great user on the in route. That's basically what's going to happen. So let's take a look at what actually gets called. Okay. John, one of the things John does a ton is he runs a vert hook on the short side of the field. Here he does that again. He's going to protect sticks here. So this is a flat zone, but it's protecting the sticks. This is a vert hook protecting the sticks. Quarter. He actually is going to click onto this quarter to kind of take the seam streak himself. He's got this guy for the slant. And then basically, this is exactly what I said. This is the cover 4 that John's running. And take a look. He switches here to take this away, which is really good switch. He's going to switch back to this to take that away. And here, actually, if you look at it low key, Abram might have a touchdown over the top. It's a hard throw, but obviously I'm super slow-moing. All this is happening in real time. John gets a KO. Abram, in my opinion, really only had 2 options, and John played great defense. And that's what I'm talking about. It's that cover 4. It's that pressure. It's the switch stick. It's the combination of all those things is what we consistently see with people getting stopped. So now John going to be great situationally, right? John knows if I get 7, it's really hard for Abram to come back from this. It's going to be a very efficient drive. Hits him with his best play out of the gate early. That's the play we saw Astro run a ton. That's that smash return play and out of the Niners playbook. I think the real reason that John's in Niners is for bunch spread nasty, because I don't think that's in Saints. So I think that's the main reason why he's in that play. Love the run from John on 1st and goal. The thing that's going to be hard for John here situationally is he's on the 9-yard line. The 9-yard line is a lot harder to score than the 3-yard line because it's hard to just run it in from the 9. So there he goes to run his first play. He's going to have to pass here. So we're going to see a little red zone dot. He's going to go to his Y trips. He goes to his Y trips a lot. Really likes that delayed, like kind of what I think that's a swirl route, I think is what it's called. Kind of a delayed route. Oh my gosh. What is that? Is that a post? Okay, Abram just called like really, really bad red zone defense. Take a look at what Abram does. Okay, so he's going to send 2. No, he's going to send 1, send 2, send 3. Okay, he did send 3. So this is the cover 4, send 3. He's got 1, 2, 3 yellows, and then this is a yellow. Or no. Oh, it's covered. Is this cover 2? I don't know what this dude is in. It looks like he calls cover 2. You never call deep halves in this game. Deep halves are too easy to manipulate. It's always inside quarters. I feel like that's not playing like an inside quarter. That definitely is not playing like an inside quarter. And John just flat out splits them for a free touchdown. I feel like I don't know. Just too open. That's too open in a semifinal matchup. That is too open in this year's game. With how good switch stick is, I feel like that was too easy. It was really just 2 dots and boom. And his 2-score game. And I got to say, like, John looks really, really good at this game right now. Like this is the best I've seen John all year. And this is really good Madden that he's playing. I don't know if that was an in route or a post route or what, but that hit a spot. That was just really nice. And here we go. Now, Abram, this is a stay alive drive. At this point, now Abram is trying to stay in the game. And he gets a big play. It's a big play, PA snag. It's a huge play. Again, there's that catch tackle, right? He didn't miss the tackle. I think he gave up a couple extra yards, but not a ton. That's a big part of defense in this year's game. It's that catch tackle, not catch, oh, I broke a tackle and now I'm going to touchdown. So it's trying to limit big plays. It's really a critical aspect of defense this year. Abram looking for this combo. He goes this a lot. I feel like it's just a cover 2 shot play with a playmaker, ultimately. I guess he has a seam streak. But, I mean, if you're John, why would you not call cover 4 every play? And I will say, like, John pretty much does. Like, it's pretty much cover 4 every play. From what I've seen, very little. There's a nice seam streak from Abram. And this is like a little tip. If you take this guy and you just move him in here, which I know it's an extra thing to do, I feel like this throw mainly happens wide side. If you bring this here, I don't think you get killed with like a streak. You might. But anyway, good read by Abram, hitting the seam streak, hitting the defense where it's most vulnerable. But again, that's that catch tackle. It's catch tackle, right? So here, John going to have to be a little bit more mindful of the seam streak. Abram going to go back to his big play. Actually, I guess he's not. He's going to change it up a little bit. This is Abram's version of smash return, basically. And there's that little return route. Good read. And now we got a first and goal from the 5. So John, everything ultimately it comes down to John got to stop. He hit a really good red zone dot as far as how the second half has gone. But really from a game management perspective, I mean, both of these guys are doing a really good job of not giving up that big play, making you have to score inside the 5. Right there under pressure. There's the pressure. One of the differences is that John got that big dot on that smash return play that kind of set him up for the touchdown, but it was still a red zone possession. And ultimately it was just Abrams' red zone. It was just, it was just too open. So we'll see what John's able to do here. If he's able to play good defense, he is. And there's a sack again. And John, I really think the story of the tournament is John's defense, which is crazy because John is widely considered to be a top 5 offensive player every single year. And his best friend is Astro, who is also a top 5 offensive player every single year. So anyway, little smash return. Abram going to go with the trail, kind of looking for this trail. Ooh, nice drag. And you see what John's doing. It's just everything is in front. Everything's in front of me. Everything's in front of me. That's really that's the sauce right now. I mean, this is exactly what he did against David T too. David T moved the ball. That's a great dot by that's Abrams' play. When the chips are down, he's going to something like this. Look at this nice throw. I mean, John really just a step too slow. Kind of played the seam, didn't have to. He's got to be here. He's got to bite. He's just a step too slow. Abram hits him. Great play by Abram. Really, seriously. That's what I call a big boy dot. Situationally, you have to score there. He does what he has to do. And now it's 28-21. And Abram has a chance to try to go get a stop and get back in this ball game. John, if you're John here, put away drive. This is your put away drive. You're going to see John maybe use a little clock, try to run the ball, get some first downs. Really, if you're John, obviously you're thinking you want 7. Love to have 7 here. If you run the ball, you take a lot of time off and you get it to 3. It's not terrible. Depends on how much time you take. But 3 is definitely a thing here. So, because again, it comes down to possessions, right? It's a game of possessions. And so, Abrams already got 1 onside kick in this tournament. We'll see what he's able to do here. But if you're John, this is a put away drive. 100%. And that's why we start out with a run. Breaks out of there, CJ. He's on conservative, I would guarantee you. And that's 6 yards. So now if you're John, you're 2nd and 4. Situationally, you probably pass. It's also underrated that John returned the kick so that he could get the game to the 4th so that he could start taking clock immediately. Really, really horizontal passing. Dude, this is like... John is just cooking with the playmaker. Here, playmaker's a drag back. And it's just really horizontal with his passing game. able to get a first down. Again, look at the efficiency of John. 254, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Hasn't gotten stopped one time. Really, it truly is. It's the discipline. It's the efficiency. It's the playmaker, man. He's really he's really cooking with this playmaker. AJ Brown's had quite the game for him. Good shoot by Abram there. That's what you got to do. Got to shoot that. You can't give that up. Here we go. Guess what he's going to go to? Smash return. Guarantee you it's smash return. Be crazy if it's not. This is the corner route version of it. Dude, that's a dot. Oh my gosh. Let's back that up. Take a look at that play. That's a big play on a 2nd and 13 to keep the chains, keep yourself in positive down and distance. So here what we see, I just think that's just like, it just is a anticipation throw on a cover 3 that just hits and he catches it. It's just a great throw. It's part of John playing so many reps, having so much throw off anticipation in a game where switch stick is the thing, right? John's not getting really switch sticked at all. Good run by Perry. Nice 1 yard gain there. Again, John's on conservative. Now we get this clock. This is what I was talking about, the clock. 340, right? That's why John's running on first down. He's taking a clock. He's not playing like super clocky, but he is playing enough clocky. Here we go. Bring a little motion out. Also, John is passing. He got Abram here. This is crazy. Notice John's facial expression. So this motion out, again, this is just something that you do from time to time. It messes with alignment. This is what Kiv was doing to Abram all game. John Beast takes it out of the Kiv game. He applies it to his own. He noticed that Abram had issues when Kiv would run a motion running back out. Watch. He motions his running back out. Look what happens. Look at this. All these defenders get messed up. Why are they getting messed up? Because Abram is not in a baseline defense. He's showing blitz. He's not in a baseline defense. He's in a cover 0 man shell, and that has been a big issue at the highest level. They're taking advantage of the alignment. It was a big issue against Kiv. It's a big issue against John. And guess what it leads him to do here? Fourth quarter, got to have it stop. He has to call a timeout because his defense is not ready. And that's why John shakes his head, because he knows he's got him right now. He knows he's got him. There's a motion out again. Look, mess up alignment again. John puts him on a streak. And John, this is very basic combo. Block the tight end. Takes this drag. Everybody's out of position. It's so underrated what John just did from a schematics perspective. Everybody on Abrams' field's out of position. Why? Abrams overextending to try to get a stop. Now, John's in field goal range. So guess what you're going to get? You only got 2 timeouts. He's going to clock you now. I don't love that John's not snapping that at 1 second. I'm sure that he probably has a reason for that. I think you're in a situation, this is snapped at 1 second. It really is. As good as your defense has truly played, it's crazy to me that Abram has 21 points, because I feel like John's defense has been really good in this game. But yeah, if I'm John, you're getting 3 runs and a field goal, and I'm playing defense. But I think, John obviously wants to just put it away, doesn't want to leave it up to an onside. So you're going to see that here. Here he's going to be able to take this down to the 2-minute warning. You do not snap this ball, John. No way. All right. But the big factor here is his ability to take that timeout, because that really limits what Abram can do as far as staying in the game. John's going to try to, I think, dot him here. Or if he doesn't have it, you'll see it. He'll probably take a sack. So there's the motion out again, getting that messed up. He saved that actually too for key situations, by the way. There's the slant. See, there's the scramble. John's not going to force it. He steps up. He takes the sack. He takes one of Abrams' timeouts. And now he takes a field goal. And he puts himself in a really good position to win this ball game. Abram has to score first, right? Which has been a thing. I think John, ultimately, he kind of had him on the last one, but wasn't able to finish it. Got a 4th down conversion. Really a good dot by Abram in a key moment. But down 10, minute 52 left, 1 timeout. The problem, it literally, this is an onside kick. Although, he gets a huge kick return. Gets a huge kick return. Game planning wise, you're going to need an onside kick, I feel like, either way. So it's kind of, I don't know. I don't know exactly. John's going cover 4. There's a switch stick. He gave that up. No way he gave that up. No, he picked it. He lurked him. All right, good. I was going to say, that's Abrams' big dot is that play. He just kind of mixes that in. John did a good job. Switch it on to the safety. He was, honestly, very close to getting lasered. But he's able to get the pick. And that's going to wrap this up. John Beast has played and is continuing to play really as perfect as you can. And he's going to make the Madden Bowl final. He's going to make the finals. This is just a couple runs and GG's. And that's going to be it for Abram. Another really good year. A little short and just short in the bowl. What I love about MCS playoffs, what I love about what they're doing with Madden Bowl is there's only one winner. There's only one true champion, right? These belts are cool, but ultimately, I think it comes down to Madden Bowl. That's the tournament with the most money. That's the hardest tournament to win because it's literally the NFL playoffs. I love that. I love that they're pairing it with the Super Bowl. Kind of like what we're doing with the MCS right now, I will say. And I don't know. I just really like the format of the Madden Bowl so far. I think it's a lot of fun. I love that all these games you've been able to see, they haven't been doing the quad box stuff. That's like super big to me. I feel like these competitors should be highlighted because they are literally the best players in the world. They are the best players in the world, and that's been proven time and time again. John going to get the first down, going to get the W, and there it is. GG's. Boys, hope you enjoyed this little breakdown. If you did, make sure that you leave a like down below. And also, if you're looking to take your Madden or college football game to the next level, join our school community. It's only $10 to be a member. It gets you access to full offensive and defensive ebooks that will help you become a better player in both games. A lot of what you're seeing in these videos, we actually break down systematically and schematically for you a little bit more. But that is going to be the semifinal. John Beast 31, Abram 21. Thanks for watching this one, boys. And John Beast is going to be on to the Madden Bowl finals.